Well, hello everyone. This is Carrie back with How to Homeschool My Child, and I am here today just to talk to you and answer any questions. Now, I don't know if everyone got the message. I didn't send an email out, but about this live, the Q&A that we're having right now. I did post something earlier today, but what I want to do is take a few minutes and answer some questions about our founding members, the founding members for the new and improved Raising Leaders Not Followers course that I've just been toying around in my head. I've talked to some of the moms earlier in the fall, and I just feel like there's a lot of improvement that we can make. I also think this is just a topic that will just really change people's lives. I actually had a mom tell me, let me just read this to you. She told me that she was so frustrated with homeschooling. It was not working. She wanted to quit, but her child didn't want to go back to the public school. And then she found our old Christian leadership education course, and it's 12 weeks and a lot of information. I want to condense all of that information. She said she took that course, completely changed, and now she's actually having success in her homeschool. And so that's sort of exciting to see. So what I want to do today is, if you have a question about being a founding member, about raising leaders, not followers, just put it down here and we'll talk about it. And if not, I'm going to at least want to answer some of the questions that I've been receiving. Some of you have DM'd me, some of you have actually have sent emails as well. So let's just jump in and get started. What ages do you think this would apply to? That's a great question. I had someone else ask me, so this founding membership, it's to make a full homeschooling curriculum from K through grade 12. So let me start with that one first, because we're not making a whole homeschool curriculum. I'm not going to give you science in fourth grade and algebra 1 and all of that. What this is intended to do is to simplify your homeschool and make it easier to make choices, and you will have the tools to actually be able to homeschool your children well. But it's not just to homeschool your children. It is to homeschool your children with intention and purpose of raising them to be able to lead their family well, to be able to lead others, because leadership is just all about influence. And I've realized last February, when we did our summit, Life Skills Leadership Summit, we hit a nerve. I had so many people interested in this, and I think it's because we get so caught up in homeschooling and comparing everything that we don't really know, we're so overwhelmed. So what I want to do is simplify this and give you the tools as a mom to be able to homeschool. And what we want to do, when we talk about all ages, that's one of the questions. We're going to start with mom, and we want to give you the tools that you need to be a leader yourself, and then tools to teach your kids leadership skills. We're going to work through all the stages of Christian leadership education for like 6 weeks. But as a founding member, you will actually get to have some input in the course itself, because I haven't even created this new and improved course. It's just all up here and a bunch of little notes and post-its and things like that. So as a founding member, you will have input into the way that we present the information, and then you'll also have input into some of the things that will be included, like foundations. We want to give you the foundation for Christian leadership education. We need to give you, and that starts when the kids are in preschool and kindergarten, let's face it. And then if you want to know the ages we're going through, lifetime learners, we want to begin that at their normal elementary ages, and we're going to give you tips and tricks on that. And then we're going to move to critical thinking and older kids. When they start arguing with you, you know that critical thinking skills has really popped in, and we want to help them with decision making. So I don't want to just sound over, but really it's for all ages. We're going to start with mom, and then we are going to get her ready, or dad, or whoever's doing the homeschooling. And then we'll work through all of the stages that we want to raise our kids to be leaders, because it's a process. So when I said, I did reply to this mom on email, and I just said, we're not developing curriculum, but you will, and we're not going to give you lesson plans for every week. We are giving you the tools and the strategies that you can use every single day in your homeschool. These are proven strategies that have worked with homeschool moms over the years. It worked with me, but then now I am able to work with some moms, and I've been working more individually. We're going to work with that. As a founding member, you will have the opportunity to help us decide how that's going to look. Is that going to be video or audio or PDF? Where are you right now, and what is it that would help you? So these are strategies that begin with mom, move on to the younger years, and then we could move on to the teens as well. Now, just so you understand, I mentioned this, but our overall goal is to simplify your homeschool so you don't have to have textbooks for every single subject and every single year. You'll choose what's most important, and then you'll make choices every year about what tools you want to use. And we are going to give you the questions and the things that you need to be able to make wise decisions, and also to individualize your kids' instruction. That's what the beauty of homeschooling is. And too often we just go off and do our own thing. So as founding members, I want to try to meet with you each and every week, not individually, but I'll be touching base either through email, and I may do a Zoom call somewhere in the middle of that as well. So, would you, here was another question. If you have questions about founding members, please put it in the comments. I'm just going through all the questions that I have received in the last, 2 days? I think I sent this out on Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday. So if you have a question about being a founding member, please put it down. I should have been saying that along the way because I see some of you popping in and popping out. I'd like to know more about being a founding member. Could you tell me more about being a founding member and working with you? This sounds great, especially since it's our second year of homeschooling. So what I want you to know is I am creating this new and improved Raising Leaders, Not Followers. We already have people that I've sent their invoice to become a founding member, but I want to make it the best course possible. And since you're in the trenches and y'all are asking me these questions or leaving comments here, then I want to make it the best that it can. You're in the trenches. I need your feedback. I know what worked for me, and I know what works in working with children, but I also know that some of y'all have busy lives. I look at my daughter's life, so I can base some of my decisions off my daughters that have kids that are 4, 7, 2 years old. But I would love your input in all of this. So what will it take to be a founding member? Next week, I plan to have a short survey, less than 5 minutes, because I truly want to know what style of instruction do you learn best. And so I'm going to be asking questions about video, audio, PDF, checklists. Do you want printouts? Do you want things that are downloadable? What is it that works for you? And as a founding member, I'm going to create this course around what is best for you because you are hopefully representing the homeschool community. I'm still looking. No one's writing questions, but I see some of y'all popping in and out. So if you have a question about founding members or Raising Leaders, Not Followers, just leave it here. I'm going to keep going down my list. I'm interested in learning more about what my commitment to founding members would entail. That's actually a really good question. I don't want to overwhelm you. And especially with Christmas around here, we are actually I started looking once I sent that email out, and the response by email has really been positive, and even in my DMs with Facebook, some of y'all have sent me that. So I don't want to overwhelm you, but as much commitment as you are able to offer. We are going to make the course go live January 31st. And so hope to touch base with this group of members about once a week. It'll probably just be through an email or through a DM on Facebook, just whatever's the quickest way, with questions here and there. And like I just said recently in the other person's question, I want to send out a survey next week. I want to know, how do you learn best? Where are you online? What's the best way to communicate with you? How do we make a community that would really be a thriving community, a brand new community that would only be raising leaders, not followers, students. And so in this new and improved community. And so I want your input as a founding member. I'll be touching base with you about once a week, and it won't take more than less than 5 minutes to respond, but I need your input. I'm changing it from 12 weeks, which is what I used to have, way too much overwhelm, to 6 modules, and they will come out once a week. We'll take a break at the end of February for our Life Skills Leadership Summit, but each week on Monday, my plan is to release that module, and that way you're not overwhelmed with all of it at one time and trying to figure out what's going on. So I need to know what works best for you. And I want to make sure that it's not overwhelming. So I am trimming down that 12-week course to 6 modules, and they will drip once a week until we're finished with all 6 of those. So your commitment is really up to you, as much as you can offer as far as just giving me some feedback and then me finding out what you need, and so that I can provide what it is that you want. The other commitment would be to enroll in the course at 50% off. And so that is right now at $73.50. When it launches in January, it will sell for $147. I probably should have said that at the beginning of the video. So that's what I'm offering. If you would like to be a founding member, you can get it at 50% off right now. And I can only take a limited amount, only have room for a few more, and we'll probably cut it off on Monday when I send the survey out. Haven't really come up with that deadline. So what is the founding member? Let me just give you an example. I had this feedback this week, and I thought it was excellent feedback. So if you have a question, put it in the comments. Everyone's sort of skipping the questions. I'm just going through the ones that we actually have had written into us. But this is the type of feedback that was so helpful to me. You're raising leadership resources needed along with finding a community where we can encourage each other and celebrate victories. The one thing I would like to see you do in your plan is to help develop leadership qualities with the parents too. I've been on committees, teams, boards, an elected councilwoman, pastor's wife, and mother, and no, I can't force personal leadership skills on anyone. I've learned that I'm accountable to God. That's it, Abba Father first. So that was great. And I actually responded and I just said, you know what? That's where we start. We start with mom, but because of your comment, all of a sudden I know now I need to tweak module 1 that's all about moms, and I need to help this woman because I think she's so right. We need to work on leadership skills for moms, because how can you give leadership skills? So what I will do, and I'll just tell you because of the feedback from founding members, what I will do is I am going to synthesize all the stuff from John Maxwell and Patrick Lencioni and all these leadership gurus, and where you don't need to go and be on all those podcasts, I'm going to dwell it right down into just maybe a 5-minute video that will help you get started in leadership qualities, and then a checklist for you to be working on leadership skills as well. So that's just one idea. Now, we've had a lot of people pop on and off, but no one's left a question. So I've just gone through since the beginning of this and just tried to answer some questions. If you are interested in becoming a founding member, that's a 50% off discount. So instead of $147, which is what it will launch in January, you pay $73.50, plus you'll have access to me from now until the launch on January 18th. We're gonna have some live webinars. We're gonna have lots of stuff going on. We're even gonna have a boot camp. I've got way too much going on. But the course will actually go live after y'all's great feedback over the last 2 or 3 days with email. The course will go live on January 31st, and there'll be 1 module each week, 6 modules total. We're really trying to trim it down, make it easy for you to use the material and not overwhelm you. The whole purpose is to simplify your homeschool and give yourself a purpose, and that is to raise your kids to be leaders. If you're interested in that, send me a direct message. I should have said that at the beginning. I didn't, but I will put that in the description for this course as well. Looks like that's all the questions we have right now. And so if you do have another question, send me a DM. I may pop them in here and keep answering them. And we may even make a little, well, this is it. We just did this Q&A. Thanks so much for spending time with me. You have any other questions about raising leaders, not followers, or being a founding member, send me a DM. If you want to become a founding member, send me a DM and I will get you set up completely at 50% off. Thanks so much for spending time with me. I am Carrie Beck with How to Homeschool My Child. Y'all have a great day.